Today's sponsors of the broadcast are Brock Brand Clothing. You want to elevate your style? Be bold with Brock Brand Clothing. And our future sponsor is Ready Sports Drink. You want something that tastes great while you hydrate? Drink Ready Sports Drink.
Yo, what to do? It's your boy Brock, and this is the BrockCast. We broadcasting all over the world, y'all. Hey, I'm joined with my co-host with the most, Mr. Petty Pat. Talk to him.
Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Petty Pat back in the building.
Hey, I love
Back in the
that
H.
too. I love that. Bring the juice. All right, we got to bring some energy today.
Yeah.
So today we got a special guest with us today. He's a young coach, coaching in college, and he's doing this thing right now. I just want to get his insight on what the YNs are thinking right now, man. So, hey, we have a huge special guest, man. My man, Mr. Audreece Dixon. Man.
What's up, man? I appreciate y'all having me on the guest. Man.
Yes, sir. You said we've been on the line this show up for a little minute because I've been wanting to talk to you about like where your headspace is as a YN. Because you said you're 23, right?
Yes, sir.
As a
23.
YN, trying to see like what you're not crashing out. You're not, trying to be in the streets like. What made you who you are today, and why are you the way you are right now?
Man, just trying to, lead by example, not only for my peers, but, I got a lot of kids that I feel like they're a role model for them, you know what I mean? Got kids, athletes I train, or guys that I coach for in college, and also my little brother, my little brother, siblings, and my other youngest, you know what I'm saying? So that's what keep me going with trying to stay positive for the youth.
For sure. Briefly give us a background of your story, man. I know you played sports. You went to college at North American University. Talk to us about your story, bro. What got you into this?
Yeah, for sure, man. I was once an athlete, man. From Houston. Played at Elkins High School.
Come on, sit out Elkins. What's it? That's a SWAT, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
They just knocked out the top Houston team in the playoffs, Shadow Creek.
Come on now.
You know what I mean? First time. So, shout out to the Elkins boys, man. But played at Elkins High School. Got recruited to play in Nebraska, a small school called Hastings College. And came in there right away as a true freshman. Earning to be a first team all-conference cornerback. Not only my first year, but my second year as well as a sophomore.
Come on now.
And, just blessed to been around good people and good coaches that recruited me out of. Actually, one of my coaches that was with me in Nebraska, he's from Yates.
Okay.
So he ended up recruiting me to come out there and ball, you know what I mean? And he helped me out so much, man. I never paid for school.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
And
that's a blessing.
Really.
A blessing.
Thanks.
Yeah, so I never paid for school. And also to be able to go from Nebraska my first 2 years to transfer to NAU some 2021 fall, right? 2021 fall. That was our first year at NAU, North American University in Stafford.
What made you do that? What made that whole switch from Nebraska to NAU?
Man, I'll be honest, in Nebraska it's cold.
It's cold, random.
Matter of fact, it's -10 out there right now.
Yeah, man, it's cold, man. And it's just the lifestyle there, because I'm from the city. I'm from Houston, so, we see buildings every day. We see a lot of different variety of people.
Yeah.
And we got all the food spots.
Right.
But, Nebraska's totally the opposite.
Yeah.
Totally the opposite. You know what I mean? So, like, you see cornfields like every day.
Cornhuskers,
Yeah. You know what I mean? And then also out there, like, all we had was a Taco Bell and Walmart.
That's crazy.
That's all we had. You know what I mean? So your best bet is to stay on campus.
Yeah.
And so, I already knew what to expect when I came out there. You know what I mean? Just come out there, play ball, and also get my degree.
Right.
That's something I really take pride of. Cause you never know the game. You can't play football forever.
Right.
So you gotta also have that end goal mindset. You know what I mean? So I'm blessed to being able to. So my coach, what ended up happening, we had how I go towards like when head coach is gone or everybody else gone.
Right.
So my coach was deciding on what school he want to go to, and he ended up finding a small school, which was new. You know what I mean? In Houston called North American University.
Right.
And so, he brought me with him. And he said, I'm bring you on. I just need you to make plays, make your money. You ain't got to pay for school here if you make your money. So I was like, all right, cool. So came in the fall camp. I loved it. I loved it because, for one, I'm in the city.
Right.
I mean, I'm in Houston. So
you back at home.
mama could see me, granny could see me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Daddy could come see me. I'm like, man, I got a ball. You know what I mean? And then even the schedule we had, we had a really great season. For our first year, we went 5-4. We played TSU on their homecoming.
Okay.
And I ended up balling. I had 2 PBUs and 2 tackles. And for a cornerback, that's a good game.
First.
I mean, so played TSU, West Alabama where Tyreek Hill went, Eastern New Mexico, and some other schools, but man, I really balled out. And I knew then playing them type of schools, and we had some athletes too that year too. And I knew that going that type of school, and it was cheap too. It was like $5,000 a semester.
Really?
To go there. And that's like before FAFSA and everything.
Right.
That's like a community college.
Yeah. And so I'm like, dang, and I'm making play, I'm playing, good grades. I'm at the crib, I can see my mama, everybody, you know what I mean? So I was like, why leave here? You know what I mean?
Right.
And
did you have NIL during that time or no?
Nah, man,
NIL is what, 2 years old, I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
we want to make sure.
Yeah, we weren't fortunate to have NIL. They got a big thing now with like the portal too. So like our portal at the time was JUCO.
Okay.
You go D1 and then you gotta go to JUCO and then get back to the top.
Oh, well,
nowadays you can just go left, right, left, right.
Yeah, because if you transfer it to another D1, you have to sit out a year. So most people they go to JUCO so they can play right away and then back to another D1. Get their grades right.
Right.
Go to the D1.
And y'all seen like some shows like Last Chance U, with a lot of guys like that. But yeah, it's pretty cool. Ended up my 4th year, I actually ended up spraining my PCL in fall camp, the first day of fall camp, grade 3. Missed out on the whole season. And that's when my coach ended up starting from. Because I don't be honest, I was in a deep stage of my life. Yeah.
You talking to somebody who tore the ACL 2 years in a row.
Bruh.
My first ACL tear, my freshman year, it was ACL, MCL, meniscus. And then my knee was completely my doctor was like, bro, I don't understand how you still walking. So then I rehabbed that, come back and tear my left ACL. And I was just like, bro, football I guess just not for me, right? Like, so I kind of I went to a different mental state. After that first, tearing your ACL the first time, I don't know if anybody ever tore the ACL, bro, but the feeling is they tell you 95% of ACL tears are non-contact. I'm running by myself, nobody around me, and I see the safety come across the field. I'm thinking in my mind, I'm finna score. I'm finna cut in, knee give out, I get tackled. I get up, everybody, good run. Like a 25-yard run, but my leg's shaking. And I can't put no weight on it. And I'm like, damn, bro, I never been hurt before. I had a sprained ankle in high school, but other than that, I'm like, damn, what the hell going on?
Yeah.
So I limp to the sideline, and as I'm limping, my knee noodle leg. Oh shit.
Yeah, I remember that.
So So now I'm like, oh fuck, I don't know what to do now. Right. So I'm like, hey y'all, some people at me off the field. I'm sitting on the sideline, the trainer asking me all this stuff. And they pushing on my leg and holding the back of my calf, and my shit just noodle.
So talk about the mental, what it takes to get over that. Because I feel like that was one of the things for me when I retired. And as I'm watching football, and we watching on multi-view, right? So we watching, the NFL on Sunday, and literally every game there's a cart coming out. There's a cart coming to get somebody. How did you mentally get over that injury, and then how did that end up, you finding coaching?
Man, when it happened, I was hurt. And one thing I'm big on prayer.
Right.
So my granny is a prayer warrior for sure. Amen. You know what I mean? So I told my granny about it, and she instantly just started praying. And I needed that, man. I was in a deep phase of my life. I thought, cause the goal was go lead.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I know, coming from a small school, you know what I'm saying, you got to really put up numbers.
Right.
And so when that happened, I was like, man, I bought out against TSU the last year. So I'm thinking it's eyes on me. You know what I mean? So somebody watching me.
Right.
But then when that happened, man, it was tough. So what I ended up doing was, I'm really big on the word of God. So definitely prayed a lot. Me and my granny prayed a lot. My mom prayed a lot. And I also had to realize that gotta also be a good leader too, because I got guys that's younger than me or that's under me
Right.
need guidance too on the game, because they know what I did, when I was there, when I was playing, but I also got to help them, prepare. And so,
What does that like? Because I feel you on that. I feel you on I felt like I had more responsibility than, my injury or my position, because just you saying that reminds me of when I was in Detroit, my last season in Detroit. They stopped playing me. They started to play the younger guys because they wanted to see, they want to revamp their team. They're in rebuild mode, so they want to see their team. And there was for like 2-3 weeks when I went through that, I was in a depressed state where I was just like, fuck the team, F the team. Like I was going. We were traveling, different cities. We came to Dallas. I ain't go to none of the meetings. I went to my homie house. Like, I was just checked out, and then we had one of them come to Jesus meetings in the middle of the season. Hey, what we gonna do, right? So I end up talking to, the team, and, I was like, hey, bro, what we gonna do? Da, da, da. And one of the dudes checked me. One of my, young bulls checked me. He was like, bro, you saying all this, but you checked out. Like, how can you tell us, anything and you checked out? And bro, that was just such a humbling, like, experience to just, because I could have easily been like, man, F you, I make this money, da, da, da. But it was just like, you know what, bro? You right. And I need to show y'all differently than what y'all know, because I know before that, Detroit was in this realm of just losing, you know what I'm saying? But I think at that moment, I was like, man, I need to show these guys, how to be a professional. I need to show these guys like what a true leader is about. A true leader that's for the team don't give a damn about their own situation. Right. They care about the team. So no, I ain't mean to cut you off.
No, you're good, man.
I felt you when you said like you have more responsibility of being leader than why you hurt. No, but continue. My bad.
You're good, man. It's just crazy. Like I remember exactly what you said when your leg went limp. Man, I remember cause we was in fall camp. And we had just reported for, how first day move in. And my coach, we had a meeting, and my coach is like, y'all should, y'all need to go get some work in, get y'all chemistry going. And I was like, all right, why not? So we out here doing one-on-ones, but I ain't gonna lie, like I like kind of stunt, cause I went from DB and I could play receiver.
Oh, okay.
And so I went to DB, and I was guarding them, balls in the air, try to one-handed, but I was trying to high point at the highest point. And man, when I hit that ground, because I think he kind of went under me, I fell on it, like all in on it first.
Wow.
And then, man, that hurt. But then it's crazy, I could relate to you on when you said you went to an event with your guys. And I remember because we had a bowling event. It was a team bonding type of thing. We had a team bonding, and we had to go to a bowling event. I'm gonna be honest, I did not want to go.
Right.
Like, I ain't gonna, it was like that same week of my knee, I didn't want to go. And I actually ended up not going. But then I had that self-talk on myself while they out. And I was like, man, like what I'm doing, like I'm not really representing what I'm preaching. My guys, you know what I mean? So let me change the way I move, because like this not what I'm doing right now is not who I am.
Right.
So let's lead by example. Right. So ever since then, I was at every workout, even though I can't work out. You know what I mean? Right. But I'm at every workout.
Showing face.
Yeah. And I'm, still on my guys, so they can hold them accountable, because, I want the best for them.
Right.
And they know that.
How do you think that affects them?
For sure, especially like so I just coached the last season, right? But the ones I coached from last season, that was the guys I was with playing. I was playing with. They was freshmen. They was fresh out of high school. And you know how freshmen are, they thinking that college sweet.
Right.
They realize that grind, it's a grind. Right. It don't matter what school you at. College grind is college grind.
Yeah.
So, so just holding them guys accountable. And my coach trusts me to death. My coaches trust me. They know, like, they ain't got to worry about, like, the behind the scenes stuff from the freshmen and stuff, because they know on my team, like, I take care of it.
Right.
So,
what made you like that? Because you young, bro. That younger generation, I just don't see them.
Yeah.
You don't really see a lot of leaders coming out of there. You see a lot of dudes following, the trends. You know what I'm saying? What made you want to be a trendsetter and do differently?
Right. I think that just come from being raised right. You know what I mean?
Right.
I have a mom and dad, who really loved me, really took me in and teach me about how life is, and also, being tough on me, but give me that tough love too.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, and also my grandmother and my grandfather. You know, I have good people in my life who take care of me and make sure I get what I need. But I just got to put in the work.
Right.
You know what I mean? So yeah,
that self-motivation though, like that, you got to have some kind of self-motivation to get through some of the workouts, some of the college. Like there was a point in time I went to LSU waking up at 5 o'clock. I was like, bruh, I want to quit. You know what I'm saying?
I felt like,
But in that same moment, I was like, I thought about like, okay, if you quit, where you gonna go? And I just thought about that whole process.
Yeah,
okay, you gonna
going back to the crib
with your mama. You go do like this. Then I snapped back like Raven.
right.
I snapped back and I was like, you know what? Take your ass. Go run, bro. Go run. That ain't the road you want to travel, bro.
Man, I think that, to be honest, when I was in Nebraska, that was like a great humbling experience. Like, I really went from like being in the city to like in the middle of nowhere.
Right.
And it's also like, so like example, like off season, right? Off season workouts, like, you know how you go to the facility and stuff.
Yeah.
But like, see, I was different because like we had snow by like 4 or 5 inches off the ground. Like when you come out the apartment or dorms.
Yeah.
So like that's already a mental thing already.
Especially because we don't snow out here.
Yeah, like imagine like you 18 years old as a freshman. It's your first off season. You know what I'm saying? You ready? You know what I mean? Locked in, ready. And then as soon as you hit that door, you gonna feel it. You gonna feel it. 0 degrees, 9 degrees. And then, but you gotta do this the whole 3 to 4 months.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then
you really love it.
Yeah, and
that's
yeah. So I think, and especially I had boys from Houston that my coach recruited too, so they kept me going too. But I think that Nebraska what really got me to having that. I think that was really got me to really loving the process of it.
Right.
And no matter like, especially because I knew I wanted better, I was gonna get better. When I said better, I mean like opportunity. Is that even when I got to NAU, I'm like forever grateful because I could have been in Nebraska. I mean, but God blessed me to be in. God blessed me to have the opportunity just to be grateful.
Right.
Be grateful because hey, everybody's like my story is not my story. My story is not a struggle compared to somebody that's going through it worse.
Right.
Cause you know, like y'all know, like them Cali JUCOs, them Cali.
Yeah.
They go through
JUCO in itself a mental experience that you have to get yourself through. So the fact that you can come out, you can come out of there. I think you're going from Nebraska, going to a smaller school. You know what I'm saying? Where it ain't Nebraska, and now you're at home. It's just the fact that how you get mentally prepared, because obviously they did things differently at Nebraska than they did at NAU, right?
Right.
So how, like, did you carry anything from Nebraska to NAU that you felt like made you better?
Yeah. I say more like we had the guys when I came in as a freshman, Nebraska, were great leaders. Like,
okay. Cool. You want to shout out anybody? You got anybody you want to shout out?
Yeah. Shout out to Tyree Nasonville, man. From Baltimore.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Be more.
Yeah.
Baltimore.
Yeah. Say York. Baltimore, York. Yeah. That's my dog, man. Him, Tay, Ant. Yeah, for sure.
Whole DB room. That whole DB room.
You know, it's crazy. Them guys actually were offensive players.
Oh, shit.
Crazy.
Yeah, so like, and Dooley.
Okay.
That's my D tackle for sure.
Okay.
So Dooley, I give him and Ty, I give for sure the most respect because, I came in as a freshman, they knew I came from the city. And they knew, because I remember during fall camp, I was a little hot-headed because I came in there with a purpose.
Yeah.
So I told them, like, I'm glad to be a part of the team. But when fall camp started, who the best receiver?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so they were like, all right, little tough, dude. All right, you think it's sweet. So then we get to fall camp. We do Oklahoma, and we did the one, how to receive in DB, like,
they lock up.
Yeah. So I went against Tay. Tay, I know you're watching, so so look, Tay, right? So I'm 18 years old, chip on my shoulder.
Yeah.
From the city. I'm gonna show y'all something. Know what I mean? Y'all ain't had that city to Nebraska. You know what I mean?
Right.
I can represent. So we go lock up, right? Lock up. The moment I even flinch, I get right on the ground. And I was like, and look, everybody laughing.
Right.
And I'm like, nah. Like,
run it back.
yeah, I'm like, my peers watching me. Right. They depend on me. I said, run it back. I'm cancel over practice. Run it back. So we ran it back. I'm like, hold on, I'm gonna really get my foot in the ground. You know what I mean? I'm gonna drive. I'm gonna get low. I'm gonna drive. Yeah, I was like, bruh, what is going on?
Bruh.
And it was crazy, man, that I found out. I was like, hey, coach. So we got to the side, right? Next person went.
Mhm.
And I was like, coach. I said, like, dog, coach?
Yeah.
Dog. I said, who is he? He said, he Tate. That's our best receiver. I said, for real? He said, yeah. I said, okay, what is he, like, junior, senior?
Mhm.
He said, actually, he's a 7-year senior. I said,
Right.
oh, man, my boy, like 26, he was 26, 27.
Right.
But I'm 18 years old, fresh.
Yeah.
Grown nigga can read
Man.
by himself.
And I'm thinking like, man, like, these boys are really different. Like,
Right,
I can't hang.
Yeah.
And then so when I found that out, I said, coach, I said, how is he still here? And he was like, hey, man, you know, we got him. He part of the squad. You know what I mean? He gonna bring you on. Learn everything you can while he here.
Right.
I said, you know, you're right, coach.
Yeah.
So then I talked to him. I said, you know you're wrong for that, right? He said, why you say that? I said, you know, I found out how old you is. He started laughing. He said, chill, Rook. I was like, all right. But nah, man, them guys brought me in though, especially like even weights. Cause I feel like that's really where chemistry go from.
Yeah.
The start is the weights.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because one, hey, that's gonna show who really the big dog.
Oh, we had my boy B. LaFell. He played at LSU with me. I remember going into the weight room
Yeah.
one year. And I'm just, like you said, I'm 18. I'm just coming out of high school, inner city high school.
We didn't really lift weights.
We didn't really lift. We lift weights, and shout out to Coach James. We lift.
Shout out Coach James, yeah.
We ain't lift like SEC football lift, right?
Mm-hmm.
So B. LaFell, he on the bench, and he got like these 110-pound dumbbells. And I'm looking at him like my eyes are wide, because I'm like, that's what a receiver, dog.
Yes. All right, but it's different.
Over the D.
But it was different at his school though, because they actually lift weights at Lamar. The schools we went to,
Yeah.
like, yeah, they tried to get us to lift weights, bro, but it wasn't something that we
dedicated to lift
Yeah.
weights, bro.
What high school y'all went to?
I went to Milby and Chavez.
Yeah, I went to Milby. B. LaFell went to Lamar.
Really? Yeah.
So it's
I went
different
to
though.
camps.
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know, I was actually at this camp playing that time, like 2016 and the 2017 year.
Okay. Shout out to B. LaFell.
Yeah.
The product, right?
Nah, I ain't gonna lie, he a good role model for sure.
Nah, for sure.
He was on. We had him on the show. We had him on the show. Yeah.
Okay.
But it just brought me to thinking like, damn, like I remember like that was my wake up moment for me in the weight room when he was like, hey, young bull, cause I pull like 75s or something.
Yeah.
I'm struggling.
Yeah.
He's like, bruh, you too big for that.
Yeah.
Like, you need to get in this weight room. You know what I'm saying? So that's what kind of enticed me when I had a receiver telling me a defensive tackle.
Yeah.
You need to get in that weight room. I was like, oh yeah, nigga, I need to get in here. So the fact you said the weight room where you build that chemistry, that's crazy.
I do, man. And man, it's just crazy. Like, especially like from Nebraska, like we all running from our apartment or a dorm to the snow to get into this facility.
Wow.
So like, it already take a lot of courage to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you got guys that got problems from home, going through a lot of stuff, but they're not putting that in front of us. You know what I mean? They team first.
Right.
And then they take care of the priorities afterwards. You know what I mean? But nah, man, that's where to start. But now I was saying earlier, with the coaching, so when I got hurt, my coach is saying like, I see you looking down over there.
Right.
Like in practices, he was like, how about like you come coach, like coach on my end, because you know, because he's a secondary guy, so that's my DC, coach DP. He was my DC, and he was like, how about you come coach? I said, all right, cool. I said, what can I coach? He said, you coach DB.
Right.
I said, for real? Like,
Yeah, you already played DB.
yeah. I was like, my group? He was like, yeah. So I bet. I said, that's home. You know what I mean? Like I played it. You know what I mean? All conference. Like I know that whole thing in the back of my mind. Like from stands, from middle game.
Yeah.
Splits with trips and trips close, all that stuff. So when I started learning it, I used to go to his office. I'm like, hey coach, like what you like, what's your thoughts on like when we watch film and stuff? And he was like, well, I think blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, I ain't see that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's little things. Like that's all coaching is like paying attention to the little details. You know what I mean? So I already had that leadership, you know what I mean, role, but I just wanted to learn more of the game.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
that's crazy because for me personally, this is my perspective. I see how much the coaches do outside of like being at the facility. Like they're at the facility longer than the players.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So they putting in more time than the players. I think for me, not wanting to coach immediately is because I was like, I just got out of football, bro. Like, I'm not about to go coach and now I got to be here and be here longer than the players. And now for me, this was it. Now the quality control dude, now he above you. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, nah, bro, I can't. Because I already know I didn't be giving that dude shit all year, you know, about, man, you just quality control, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so now I go to coach. Now I'm on the, bottom of the totem pole. So for me, I was just like, man, I I love the game. And even when we talked to one of my coaches that coached me in the league, Henny, he was like, bro, you got too much knowledge of the game not to be giving it to,
But you know how we fix that though?
How we
Stay tuned for Brock's Trench Talk.
come on, man.
Come on, dog. Now we going into a different realm. Since we on the coaching and him having a bunch of knowledge, we kind of started this segment where he kind of go through film and break down the D linemen, what they have going on and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah, I seen that.
Yeah.
You touches on coaching, bro.
Because he know, like you said, he know a lot of stuff about the D line. Because when we watch football, that's not really a cool position that people watch. It's the quarterbacks, receivers, and DBs. Really, running back is
right. They always following the ball. So if the ball is in the quarterback hands and it's going to receiver,
and the celebration,
they not gonna focus on what the D line doing versus all the
stunts and all that stuff. Yeah, I agree.
And that's what the game is won because we watch the Eagles win the game without blitzing the entire game.
They ain't do no stunts really. They just
I mean, besides doing a little picks, and, you know. But talk to, I mean, a little bit more about like your coaching style. Like, where have you picked up? Like, do you have a certain coaching style you like? Like, you know, you get some of them coaches that immediately get that power and like
they don't know how to handle it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or are you more like you trying to meet your players at the same level type?
I'm gonna be honest. I be myself. Like I be myself, but my guys know like I put in work to be disrespected. I ain't gonna lie.
What you mean?
So you ever had to step in on one-on-one sometime? Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, like, cause it's crazy. Like, you know how you say like the YN, right?
Mm-hmm.
So like, I got players like who are literally my age or older,
right?
You know what I mean? Cause I'm at a small school, so we are in NAIA, and that's like under that D3. It's D1, D2, D3, and NAIA, and then JUCO. I think JUCO, right?
Okay.
So now, man, with the I got guys who be trying me, but I ain't going for it, and I'm gonna stand on, like, I'm a coach, don't respect me, you know what I mean? Like, and they also know the work that I put in. You know what I mean? They know that I care. And they know that, especially, like, the guys that was been there, like, even when I told you when I got hurt, like, that was still there, like, they already know, like, I take pride in this game, I watch film, and I also, like, played the position, and I know, like, how I can make you better. Because I know a lot of my guys from these small schools want to go to the big schools. And I tell them, like, even from the experiences of hearing the guys from up in Nebraska I used to hear, I used to tell my guys, like, hey, what you doing ain't D1. So you know what I'm saying? You want to go D1, like, you got to go to class because, you know what I mean? The more that D1
go. It'd be the main thing, bro, is to go into class.
Yeah. And I'm like, or they'll like, trying to, let's say, like, we at the end of the workout and you know how you doing, like, 10 push-ups and, like, win. And you would see that one guy kind of like just sitting on the ground.
Right.
And I'd be like, hey, bro, like, they know, like, if you're doing that D1, you be like, tighten up.
Somebody always looking. Because if I caught you, somebody else looking.
Exactly.
For sure.
But nah, when they come to my group, them DBs alone, them boys know I represent and I love them. And I also give them that tough love. And I bring them up and I help them with that game.
Right.
And that comes with being present. You know what I mean? Like, first one to meetings, last one to leave. And meeting up with your guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's a big thing. Like, you can't expect guys to want to respect you and to let them work for them to help you work on their game if you ain't around. So like, I'm gonna give you like a backstory. So like last fall, right? Last fall season, I also teach.
Okay.
So I'm a teacher. I'm an elementary school teacher in Siena, in Missouri City.
Come on now.
So
doing big things. I'm proud of you. 23 years old, a teacher, a coach. You doing big things,
man. So you know, just teaching from 7:30 to 3:30, cause you know I gotta help with the bus ramp,
Right.
and to back door be at the meetings at 4:30,
Right.
and practice over 7, 8 o'clock, and then but now I gotta be with my guys about who we playing this week, what's the expectation, who we going against, the game plan, matchups on matchups, and seeing how we gonna like game plan against these guys.
Right.
And sometimes I'll probably leave at 11 at night. So I got to
Gotta be
repeat
back up at 6
Yeah.
and
be
repeat.
at school for 7.
You know, that's what I was saying, man. Them coaches, they they're more than the players,
Right.
Because they like you said, they looking at the finer details of things. They looking at what everybody else ain't looking at. They
Right.
looking at the bad plays. You know, people don't want to watch their bad plays, but
Yeah.
people
So we want to see the highlight tape. We want to see
You know what?
everything.
They want to I'm gonna watch this whole
Nah, but what about this though? Because I'm just saying about people watching their bad plays. Because I can show you a million good plays,
Right.
but the bad plays is what caused us to lose the game.
Right.
Do you have any like, you know, because now you're coaching, do you have any coaches that you look up to? Any coaches that's out there that you want to kind of emulate your coaching aspects off of?
A lot of them, man. I don't know why. I'm really a big fan of Coach JB. Last Chance U from Kansas.
Oh, okay. He got a podcast, don't he?
Yeah, he do.
Yeah, he do got a podcast.
So like, what I like about Coach JB is like he has image control, and when I say image control, I mean like when he speaks or when he walk, everybody feel his presence.
Mm-hmm.
So like the moment he walk in a room, play it like this. Like I like that because
Yeah.
everybody, because coaches is supposed to be a role model and a leader, and if you ain't got your players on the same page, you already lost them
Right.
because it's a team sport and it starts from the coaches.
Right.
It literally starts from the coaches, no matter what. And I say Coach JB. I like Prime too, 'cause I like his swag.
Right.
Cause like
Right.
he not wearing suits. You know what I mean? He coming that fly. You know what I mean? Wearing,
Right.
you know what I mean? Represent his brand. And I like on Last Chance U basketball. The basketball.
The basketball, yeah. The basketball one was fire too. I don't remember his name, but the basketball
Yeah.
one season was fire too.
I like him a lot because he's the one that showed like he has that love relationship to his players,
Mm-hmm.
but he also like putting in work.
When you say put in work as a coach, what you mean?
When I say putting in work, I'm saying like he put time into film, and he know like that these guys like not everybody going. I started learning this a lot too, coacher, even when I was playing, but not a lot of people probably might not have the same mental mindset as you.
Mm-hmm.
But you gotta also like bring that energy to them too.
Okay.
You feel me? And he did that a lot. And even though them guys are struggling, you know what I mean, outside of basketball, but he always helped them out. Like when reason how I implement that from my coaching is that like when we watch film, right? Like, I know these dudes tired. I mean, I'm tired too, but I got to do my job.
Right.
You know what I mean? But what I do is I like buy some pizza. I buy some pizza at Little Caesars.
Yeah.
I know they're gonna keep them awake.
Right.
So
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like you just got on practice. They like, Coach, I don't want to watch film, and I pop out with this pizza. They like, oh, let's watch film, Coach.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So once and then they see like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to the game,
Mm-hmm.
and even like I posted on my Twitter, on my group, my DBs, the highlight tape, they were balling. But you know, they see the highlight tape, but they don't see when we was watching film that week or week 1, week 2, week 3, fall camp. You know what I mean? On like little things like how to tempo pedal, how to read step pedal, and all that stuff. So nah man, it's a grind, bro.
Off topic, is there any coaches out here, these off-season DB coaches and skill coaches that you take, you know, maybe some drills from, or
Yeah, man. Shout out to Pick Six. That's his
Pick 6.
Yeah,
Thank you,
six.
brother. I was hoping you said because
Yeah, it's crazy, man. This is when I was playing. I actually was trained by him one session, and I learned a lot that one session. Before we even started the session, I talked to him. He's a really good guy.
Yeah.
Really good guy. Jaleel Johnson. That's his name.
Yeah.
I had trained with him, and seeing the guys that he brought, like including myself, to train, I was like, man, this dude got some athletes. You know what I mean? And then so you kind of wonder, like, you know how sometimes you see yourself, like, you want to see where you at compared to some people, even though you don't want to compare yourself, but you just want to see where your game at.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, he bringing some dudes, you know what I mean, here, and they tell me what schools they at, I'm like, okay, this is what it's like to be at the SEC, or this is what it's like to be at ACC, and or like some guys in the league, Bradley Roby.
Yeah.
I remember he was at an event one time, and I was like, dang, he's smooth. You know what I mean? He look crafty. But just seeing what them guys is, but shout out to Pick Six though. He's definitely, and I'm a DB trainer too, and I used to implement the drills that he had us doing and see how that correlate to the game, and it really do.
What about, I was gonna say, what about any DBs in the league that you like this is who y'all should be watching film on? This is a person that you can kind of model your game after.
I'm be honest, if you like more of a taller guy, Pat Surtain for sure. I think he's the standard of the DBs, right? The corners right now.
Right.
But towards more like a 5'11", 5'10", 10-inch type of guy, I say Stingley.
For sure.
Dog.
LSU.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Nah, them boys been representing. Man. But nah, I definitely give a shout out to them guys for sure.
You watch any because the guy that I'm thinking about, Del Ponte, like with his receivers, how
Diamond?
Yeah. I was just looking at, just thinking as a DB coach, like I would want to watch a little bit of what he doing so I can, show my guys like, okay, look,
this is what the receivers working on.
This is what they working on. This is how they, because a lot of that shit, I ain't gonna lie, it's so much stuff. I'm like, bro, you can't run that route like that. Because there's so much, everything is on timing when you playing in a game. It look good when you doing skit drills, but in the game, all that switch, bro,
the DB ain't DB. I'm just watching you run. You not even moving, bro. You just dancing at this line of scrimmage. Come on, bro. You got to get out the line of scrimmage.
Window,
you know what I mean?
Man.
So just watching some of the, some of my opponent, I guess my opposing coaches to see like what they working on. You do that?
I'm gonna be honest. Like I like Devontae Diamond for sure.
Okay.
Because a lot of his drills do actually implement, really do translate to the field. And especially like, he's also great at like, not only just doing the drill. You know how you got some trainers that just do it for the Instagram?
Right.
But he also like, he's actually in the lab, like with these guys, and he actually makes sure they condition too.
Right.
You know, you can run routes, but you gonna get tired.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And them boys be in shape. You know what I mean? Like, he bring in a lot of guys, especially, I like that he bring up a lot of underrated guys too. You know what I mean? Guys on the come up. Yeah, I like Devontae.
Because it's all about work at the end of the day, bro.
He was on.
That's what I think, made me a better player was the fact that I was working. I was in the off season focusing on like, hey, I need to, somebody, if I'm not grinding, somebody getting better than me. So I always kind of had that thought process of like in the off season, like I was grinding because I felt like somebody was getting better than me. Do you, what do you kind of teach your guys, about, off season training and things like that? Because it's very important.
So like, for my high school guys, the guys that train the high school level, just let them know basically like from experience, I'm big on experience. So just letting them guys know like, I've been there where you trying to go, and I know what they, especially like what players expecting, you know what I mean, that you're gonna play with,
right?
And from a coach's perspective, what they view too. So like, just to basically let them know early, like what mindset you gotta come with when you go to college. You know what I mean? Be on time for weights, be on time for meetings. Actually, be the first one to everything, and don't give them a reason to not take you in. And
do you think that's hard to teach players nowadays? Because you see so many guys that. Well, I think that's what the media highlights. But you see a bunch of guys we feel like, oh man, he's not. He don't go to class, or he's in a transfer portal every year because he's dealing with some situation like, like what could you, I guess, tell other guys to do besides not do that? Like how do you get younger guys who see some of these phenomenal players and they doing what they want to do, and how you teach your guys like, yeah, he's a phenomenal player, but on the outside, that's not where you want to be.
Can I give you an example to go along with what he's saying?
Yeah.
How would you talk to your guys about the situation with Cormani McClain?
Good one.
I feel like it starts with the older guys.
Yeah.
Like think about it, like coaches, you can say coaches, but in reality, like what's in that locker room is in that locker room.
Mm-hmm.
And the guys in that locker room, especially the big dogs, like the seniors and the juniors, the older guys, they supposed to hold them type of guys accountable.
Mhm.
I feel like it starts with them. Because, coaches can only do so much.
Right.
Because, they got so much other stuff to worry about.
Right.
Game planning, you know what I mean, and some other stuff. But, and tag along what you said, I feel like them older guys need to really give them freshmen, or, like in the NFL, like the Brooks, like that treatment, like, hey, this is
Somebody should have took him in and sat him down, and they're like, "Look, bro, I understand you was a 5-star in high school, but everybody is a 5-star in D1.
Right.
Right? You going against the best of the best. So it's like, if you not in high school, bro, so you gotta sit your ass down, go to class, come to these meetings on time. Somebody should have. You feel like, but what if somebody is like you? Because you got them players they be like, bro, he going to the league, but his mental not right. He don't want to go to class.
Right.
He don't want to watch film. Like, how do you handle somebody like that?
And I just telling you, it came from an older guy, especially like from experience. Like, remember all the guys I shout out earlier in the podcast, like them boys hold me accountable from the beginning. Like, not even till we got put on the shoulder pad. I'm talking about from when we have breakfast the first day. I came in, I was sitting by myself on my phone. They were like, "Hey, what you doing? Come over here." You know what I mean? You with the team. This our team. Same thing. And being able to bond with them guys, and we in weights. You know how the weights, you do what you want to do, weight.
Right.
But then them boys gonna say, "Hey, nah, add a 25, add a 35.
Facts.
So that come from, what I mean, having them peers and them older guys coming in and bring you in and teach you how what the game is like. And how it's supposed to be run.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's what I say on that for sure.
So what do you think? I guess, this one of my last questions. So when it comes to culture, you're a coach now. When it comes to culture and a head coach, building culture in a facility on the team, whatever, like what do you think is the ground foundation of culture when it comes to leading a team?
Leading a team, I say on my end is being myself for sure, right?
Yeah.
Being myself. I'm more like a high energy, like bring that energy, but I'm also like,
cause you're young, bro. You're young. You 23,
like
young. You still can jump up and down. You know what I'm saying? It's one of some of them old school coaches, man. I mean, in the league. This motherfucker, he had to get a cart everywhere he went. He had to get a cart.
Yeah.
So like being that young, youthful coach, that bringing that energy, bringing that, that just lighting up the room.
Definitely got to lighten up the room. That's even me teaching. I want to teach them the second month of me teaching this fall. And the thing that said in the email was that Audreece always lighting up the room.
Right.
Like, I speak to everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like no matter how good or what type of success I get in life, you always, keep the main thing, and greet everybody, treat everybody the same way.
Yeah.
But now to tag along what you said, I have a lot of experiences, man, as a young coach, with culture. For one, like, I have my former head coach. He's like, "Man, you know what I mean? You look like you can still play."
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because,
I'm like, hate that.
I'm be honest, man. Like, as a young coach now, like, I have my moments. I ain't gonna lie.
Right.
Like, I ain't gonna just say like, "Nah, I don't care about it." Nah, I have my moments. Like, I will be in practice and they throw a D ball on my DB, and the corner, my player, they pick the ball off.
Yeah.
I have some thoughts to myself. I'm like, "Man, I would have one-handed that joint."
Right.
But then I'm like, "Nah, let it go, Drees." You know what I mean? Like, just let the young boy shine now.
That's funny you said that, but bro, because I literally just saw a video on Instagram yesterday. It was a elementary school or something like that, and I can't remember if it was a science teacher. He had a dunk contest by himself. Like, he was in there going crazy. He was jumping over the kids. He was windmilling, putting the ball under his legs, doing all this crazy stuff in front of the kids in school, bro. They was going crazy.
Really?
He was a science teacher. I was like, bro, what?
Man.
Bro, he a teacher at the school, but going crazy like that. I'm pretty sure he probably like, yeah, I could probably still get in the league.
Yeah, right.
He like, nah, I'm good off of this shit.
It's crazy, man. Like, I just like that injury. I ain't gonna say it stopped me from wanting to play again, but like, I just had love for that year of like being a student assistant to be coaching. Like, I like it. Cause I already wanted to do it when I was done playing, but it was like, when was it gonna start?
Right.
You know what I mean? So when I started, I was like, man, I really like this coaching. Like, this is really art. Like, coaching is really art. And it's cool. Like, think about like, I'm assuming, what position you play when you play?
Running back.
Running back, D-line, right? You know how like running back, like you only focus on what your job is, what your keys is, and you focus on the same thing with D-line.
Right.
Nah, when you coaching DB, you gotta know that whole back four or back five. You know what I mean? And their jobs and, you know what I mean, coverages, run fits, all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a crazy story, man. So like, let me tell you a funny story. So I was recruiting for the school in the fall, right?
Okay.
So I go to high school games. I went to this Pearland versus Shadow Creek game, right? Big game in Houston. And I had forgot my tag, my recruiting tag.
Yeah.
But I got the my collar shirt on, you know, dress slacks, and I'm looking nice. And I go to the stadium. I'm like, hey, how you doing? Coach Audreece, nice to meet you. I talked to the coach already. I'm supposed to get in to watch the game. The lady was like, you look pretty young to be a coach. Yeah, I'm like, I said, I appreciate that, man. You know what I mean? I do. But, you know, I got to get in this game. Right. So then she was like, do you have like some identification? I'm like, yeah, I got you. So I'm showing her. I had to show her my Twitter, you know what I mean? I showed her my Twitter, like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm like, nah, you good, man. I get it a lot.
Right.
You know, a lot of these high school games I go to, I got to keep, you know what I mean, bringing up that I'm a young coach. You know what I mean? I know I ain't as old as the ones I seen last week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I'm new. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's why I want you to come on this show, because I kind of wanted you to give like your insight on like, you know, you doing something positive for yourself. You know what I mean? I think that's what the broadcast is all about. Is, you know,
Yeah, for sure, man.
authentic stories and showing the positivity. You know what I mean? You guys in media, they showing, you know, young guys crashing out all over the place. You know what I'm saying? But for you to have your head on straight, you a coach, you a teacher. That's why I wanted you to come over here to kind of give give a little inspiration to, you know, our audience on like how you can nowadays you can do something with yourself.
You don't, even if you don't make it to the league, you can still be part of football, whether it's coaching. Like my boy, shout out my boy DB, Darren Bates. The get back coach. You can always be involved somewhere in some type of sport, even if you don't make it. You ain't got to be out here. I mean, I get what people say, but I'm in the midst of a situation. But yeah, there's plenty of ways to get out that situation. You're just using it as an excuse to continue doing what you do.
I agree.
If you were to you know, talk to yourself 10 years ago, you know, on
he can't, because he would be 30.
no, he would. He what?
That man be 13 years old, bro.
To the 13. You right now, talking to your 13-year-old self, like, what would you tell yourself, like, to continue to, you know, get to this point right now? Like,
13-year-old Audreece?
yes.
I tell him, good job.
Yeah.
And keep going.
Yeah.
Let's keep going. Because even at 13, I always still had that chip on my shoulder.
Right.
I just always my goal always to try to survive the day and do the best I can do today. And treat every day as if it's an interview. You know what I mean? So, come in ready to work. Even when I was playing, just finish the day.
Right.
Because in reality, we got 365 days in the year.
Right.
But you got to finish the day first.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's why I say.
It's so crazy listening to you talk, bro. All I hear is your daddy, bro.
Right.
All I hear is your daddy, bro.
We know Audreece pops.
We know his pops, bro. Bro, seriously, bro. Every time I talk to your dad, I'm like, man, I feel like, hey, bro, you done made me want to go like skydiving or some shit, bro.
You, bro. He always had like inspirational
and he always got a smile on his face, bro.
When he talked to everybody, like, I know this is where you
for sure.
You know, everybody.
For sure.
You know, you never know, especially now being retired. I know, like, building your network is a big thing.
Oh yeah, for
just a huge thing. You know, about life. Like, let's be real about it, because it's not about what you know; it's about who you know. Because somebody, you could just be talking to people, meeting somebody, and the person just come out the blue and be like, "Yeah, you were such a nice gentleman. You talked to me. I got, you know, so and so.
Yeah,
I'm gonna link you with him, and he's at Oklahoma." You don't know how it could happen. So the fact that you go outside of yourself to talk to other people and make sure that you lighten other people's day up, bro. That's so impactful, bro. And I'm just proud of you, bro.
Appreciate you, man.
Remember, I was saying that same thing, bro. I remember the first time we met you at your old man, and then
You was going to college.
yeah, he was about to go to college.
That's intimate.
You know what's crazy?
Yeah.
Bro, after that, your dad had called me. He was like, "Man, bro, my son was so happy to meet y'all, bro. Like, hey, man, I appreciate y'all for just, you know what I'm saying, speaking to him and talking to him and stuff like that." It didn't really, I was like, all right, bro, like, you know what I'm saying? But now seeing you, you know what I'm saying, some years later, bro, you know what I'm saying, it really meant a lot to me knowing that your dad just took the time out of his day. He just wanted to, when you walked in, you was smiling, you spoke to us, and then for him to take the time out of his day and call me and tell us how much he appreciated you,
Yeah,
and finally meeting us and stuff.
It was a great humble experience, man. You know, especially from you guys. You know, for experience, and you know what I mean, and to be able to learn everything from y'all. You know, y'all definitely set the standard, and also like I be watching y'all podcast, man. Y'all booming, man. You know,
Appreciate it.
I mean,
We doing a little something, man.
yeah, man. Yeah, I got my full support, man, from the start.
I appreciate that.
I mean, and even the advice y'all gave me, and even like when y'all did give me advice, it was like more we were family.
Yeah.
And I like that, and I appreciated that, and I was like, you know what, I like these guys. You know what I mean? So it was great. It's crazy, like when you said earlier, like how, like yeah, me and my dad for sure, like with
Bro, what? I'm talking about 1-on-1, bro.
man, like you know that came from like he noticed too. Like the reason why like I greet everyone I see, that came from when I was like 14, 13 years old. My dad used to take us to this hospital to go see my uncle. And one time, he let us walk through the door, me and my brother. He let me and my brother walk through the door. And we passed up like about 6, 7 people. And my dad was like, he stayed at the door, like in the back while we walking. He like, hey, Drees, come on. And I'm like, what's good? Like, I'm like, I dropped something. He said, look, let me talk to you. He said, when you walk into doors, he said, you greet everybody. He said, just because they ill, you know what I mean, they going through something, don't mean that you too big to talk to people.
Right.
I was like, all right. So, mind you, my uncle, like on the 7th, 8th floor, and man,
Y'all speaking to everybody going through.
oh man, I'm talking
Took
about,
y'all 3 hours to get
man, I'm like, Dad, you know, Uncle still waiting on us up there. He's like, nah, you speak to him too. I'm like, come on, Dad.
Yo.
But nah, that day taught me a lot. I was like, you know what, he right.
Yeah.
And greet everybody, and especially like I told you about teaching, like them, like greeting people, opening doors for me, because you never know what they were dealing with that day, and that, hey, how you doing, actually lit up that day.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And that actually got me my first teaching job. Like I was working, so my first 2 years, no, the last 2 years I was working extended day, the after school program, right? And shout out to Mr. Lowe. That's my principal at the school.
Okay.
And
Mr. Lowe.
great role model. And I saw him in his office, and this is like about to be the end of it, like one of the last school days of the year. And then this when I was for to graduate, and I was like, you know what? Let me talk to this guy. Let me see, I mean, how he is. You know what I'm saying? Really get to network with him. And I talked to him, hey, Mr. Law, how you doing? He like, how you doing? You doing good? Yeah, good, cool, right? And we talking, vibing, and just vibing. And then I end up in that summer, right? Cause I graduated that spring, and that summer I had a teaching job lined up at I can't think of that school. It's a whole bunch of them in Houston though.
Kip?
Nah, it's another one though. I'm trying to think. I don't know why I can't think of it.
Like Yes Prep. See, you said a lot of them schools here. Houston got a million.
They do.
Right, a billion.
It's a school on every corner down
I
there.
can't think of what the school name is right now. But summer, like I had this lined up to spring from April all the way to July when the hurricane hit. And I've been doing like I've been doing onboarding processes. I went through the training, loved it.
Yeah.
I'm learning a new system on how to grade and everything. And then so when the hurricane hit, I got a call from the lady, the principal. I was like, hey, how you doing? Everything good? Said, yeah, I want to inform you, are you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, right. I'm like, make sure my people in the back, like, yeah. So I was like, yeah, so what's up? So lady was like, man, I'm sorry to tell you, but the person that was here before you ended up wanting their job back, and we gave it to him. All right? So I was like, God, I went through all this month.
Right.
Because I ain't gonna lie, like, teaching process, like, they already have their teacher already lined up from the spring. You know what I mean? It's not like a last second thing.
Right.
Like, whatever they got in the spring, that's what's coming in the fall. Or if you get lucky. So I was like, man, I just went through all that whole teaching process to get the job, and I ain't got no job.
Right.
Graduating, I was frustrated. So then I was training, right? So that's why I'm getting to Mr. Lowe. So I was training, And one of the guys I trained is the principal's son.
Mhm.
And this is how I knew God worked in mysterious ways.
Come on now.
So I was training his son. And after I finished, I was like, "What's up, Mr. Lowe? You good?" I said, "Good seeing you." He said, "What's up, man? You know, how was that teaching job over there you had got?" I said, "Man, you know, it's crazy. They actually just released me. You know what I mean?" And I was right there.
Mhm.
He said, "Well, we got a teaching position opening up."
Look at
He said, would you be open?" And it's at Fort Bend. So, you know, Fort Bend really known in Houston. I said, "Yeah." I said, "Let's do it.
Yeah.
Like, let's do it." He's like, "All right, bet." He said, "Give my number." And I was like, "Man, it's crazy." Cause like, it really started from greeting him from that day of one of the last days of school. That's why it's crazy. Like, it don't matter it don't matter what you know about who you know.
Right.
And even like my experience in coaching, right? Experiences coaching. So I coached 707 for Texas War, right?
Okay.
Warpath. And that whole last spring, 2024 spring, I'm talking about I was networking. I was at every high school,
Yeah.
learning every coaches, or at least they can see my face and know who I am.
Right.
So in the future, like, they know who I am.
Right.
And Cornelius Anthony, High Tower head coach, who I do in future looking to work with.
Come on now.
Matter of fact, look, shout out Hightower. I just customized I just did they mock-ups for their new uniforms.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, they got some tough.
Yeah.
Oh, the great joints?
Yeah, the great joints.
Hey, them things, let's
Yeah.
tough for sure. But that's one of them, someone that came from the same background as me, coming from Elkins High School,
Mhm.
and you know, he played Division I at Texas A&M, playing for the 49ers. I believe some other other NFL teams. But reason why I brought him up because we was in Waller High School over there in Prairie View, right? For a 707 event, and I'm coaching. I'm loud, like when my vocal, I'm really loud.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So when I'm coaching, and I'm talking to my guys, and I think we had played against some team. They were beating us asleep, but I'm also like, but some of my players on my team not used to like when things hit the fan and they start to get down,
Yeah.
and they know parents watching and people watching.
Yeah.
So, you know, and bringing them, I'm let it be known, hey man, like everything gonna be good. Like this picture, they're not even here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just act like this field is only you in there and your opponent. Like, you know what I mean? So I'm loud, tell them like we don't do things like we discipline over here where we at. We don't do that arguing, we don't do that cussing,
Yeah.
none of that stuff. Like just play ball. And you know what I mean? You could trash talk, but you know what I mean? Keep it cool.
Right.
You know what I mean? Where it's gonna hurt the team.
Right.
And so it's crazy. So after the game, I'm shaking up hands, and I hear Drees. And I was like looking around, like, who's that my name?
Mhm.
And I said, "Coach Anthony, what's up?" That was the High Tower head coach. And I was like, "What's up, man? You good?" He said, "Yeah, man, I see you coaching out there." And I was like, You watching me coaching? Like you was here all the time? He was like, "Yeah." He said, "Keep doing your thing. I like what you're doing out there. Just know I'm always watching."
Yeah.
And I was like, you don't know who
You don't
watching.
know who watching.
And I'm all the way in Prairie View. And
Right.
He
Yeah.
close city.
Right.
And I was like, and I was like, man, that's crazy. Like he could have just been out here just like bored the other day. And he said, you know what? And that all came from, guess what? Advertising myself, going to the spring,
Right.
meeting up with all these coaches around the whole Houston city. And so, I'm definitely big
So
on
it's all
that.
about what you know.
Bro, it's
about who you
the
know.
same thing with our producer, right? Our Julie's, right? We Mike kind of been letting me do our football camps, setting everything up and stuff like that. He came out and he just spoke to me like, "Hey man, you know, I want to film, blah blah. You do the y'all football camp, blah blah." He gave me his info, right? But we already had a cameraman, so you know, some time go on, and then me and that cameraman kind of didn't work out, and I was like, "Man, let me hit him up and see if you know, it's something he want to, you know what I'm saying?" Now it didn't turn into he out doing our podcast and he going out to with us to the Super Bowl and going to all these different places. I tried to preach that to my other cameraman, but he was like, his vision was, this is just money to me. It wasn't.
Yeah.
He couldn't see past just let me just get this money. So you know, with that networking stuff, and the same thing go with us when we go out somewhere. Even if he don't want to talk, I'm in everybody's face talking. You know what I'm saying? Hey, how's it going? You know, this what we got going on. Michael Brockers, even though he like, man, I don't want to. He feel like, you know, he just want to say humble. So that's fine. I'll gaslight you. I'll let everybody know who you is. You know what I'm saying? So that networking stuff, just seeing how crazy, how many places it can take you versus, like I'll say, prime example, right? a lot of, since we in media now, right? A lot of media people get into Super Bowls before people who got a bunch of money because they know somebody who knows somebody. Hey, I'm gonna get you in. Come in and do this take these photos or film this little stuff like that. And then now you got people who millionaires, they can't get in the game or they don't want to spend some crazy price, $30,000 for a suite or $15,000 for a seat or something like that.
Way more than that.
I'm just saying, networking can get you in a lot of places, bro. Just opening up your mouth and speaking.
So you said you're recruiting now, or we talked about you in NAU. You were recruiting right now. Where can people find you? We talked about the school. Does the school have a program or?
Yeah, so we actually just shut down last week Monday.
Okay.
They said due to like we not representing like a school image on what the school's supposed to look like. What they were saying was more like, like think about it, like football players bring in the most money at the school,
right?
Unless it's like a basketball school,
right?
You know what I mean? But in reality, I mean, like we got the most people out of all sports. You know what I mean? So the odds really against us,
right?
You know what I mean? So, every school has them type of guys, them knucklehead guys that bring that outside stuff to the university.
But that shouldn't represent the whole team, though. Just the whole school, knuckleheads.
Yeah, and then what made it worse is that like a lot of guys in the fall ended up. We had a lot of guys, like probably like 40%, 50% of our guys from last fall not being able to pay for the tuition.
Oh wow!
So now they kind of feel like they end up had to take a step back,
right?
School,
right.
Because now all that stuff ain't free. These professors and these classes, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that really took a toll on us a lot. So what they ended up doing was canceling canceling the football program. But they still got basketball, they got track.
So if football is gone indefinitely,
what's the next steps for you?
Man, my purpose, man, is to focus on these high school kids, man. Because that's always been a thing for me. My end goal for high school is to be a head coach and athletic director one day. But I love that defensive side of the ball. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah.
That's that dark side.
Right.
You know what I mean? So definitely want to be a DC for sure. But as of right now, I'm focused on for these high schools and seeing what jobs people don't want, because them type of jobs I like to choose from.
Right.
And try to bring them up and make them great. You got schools like Worthing that just popped off this fall.
Right.
Yep.
Come on now.
You know what I mean?
Shout out to my boy Fingerman. He played quarterback. I coached him.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Man, like one thing, I took some advice on this coach from this Nike camp I had. This is actually my first camp I ever coached. It was at a Nike camp, and some advice he gave me was that go somewhere where a lot of people don't want and make them the greatest thing ever. Because he said everybody gonna want them big jobs, right? But not everybody gonna take them little jobs.
Right.
But if you make them little jobs turn to some big things, it's gonna open up some doors for you.
Back.
You know what I mean? So definitely want to do that. And especially because I'm working on my certification right now for the high school level. So I'm just trying to get into that. But if I want to teach at Fort Bend, but I'm really rocking with the high tower.
Yeah.
Towards high school where I want to go.
Man, any coaches out there?
I talked to a few high school football coaches still, because I don't want to kind of put that out there, but I got a pipeline for a lot of the kids. So
Drees, my dog Drees, we looking for him a job. So,
facts.
At the end of the day, man, any college coaches, anybody, any ADs out there,
college or high school,
looking for
my boy said he
a young coach that's ready to improve your team. Got my man Audreece Dixon. Hey, where can people find you, boss?
You can follow my Twitter, man. New Era NEWERA Audreece.
You mean X, right? That's my
X.
X.
But they still call it Twitter.
They do.
Oh,
So that was my Instagram. My Twitter is HTX_Audreece. You know what I'm saying? I'm pretty sure y'all got them down below.
Yeah.
So I was gonna ask you. So speaking on Twitter, right? So as a coach, is that where all the coaches go to recruit now?
Yeah.
So it's no more. It's not Instagram and
Okay.
Nah, but if you really like a big player like that, we'll look on Instagram, make sure you ain't doing nothing.
See, so kids out there, come on, they watch, they looking at the stuff y'all post.
At y'all Twitter.
Bro, you don't have to be posting your pants hanging and all that crazy shit.
It's your things, man. Like,
No, I'm just saying like high school. A lot of high school kids be posting
It's crazy. Like,
offers on Twitter.
you know how they say first impression is the best impression?
Right.
So like that's really big on like how we recruit guys because like yeah, you want a guy who nice, right? Everybody wants guys that's nice, but we also want to have them character type of guys too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like ones who good in the classroom. You know what I mean? Who ones who coachable and ones that lead by example. And so because we want to try to bring as many guys as possible to the programs. That's how you can succeed. And like I remember we had a cat from this high school that was actually I wanted to recruit hard. He's a really good player. And then I ended up speaking to him and he, no, I actually went to the game. I went to the game and I realized he wasn't playing. And so I talked to the coach. I asked why he wasn't playing. He was saying how he was like not really a character type of guy. And so I'm like, man, this the guy I recruited hard. So if I would have brought him to the program, I would have.
You would have been that.
Yeah,
that too.
Man, it's crazy. Like everything, college is a grind, man. What coaches like you know I coach DBs, right? So like what they display is my resume. You know what I mean?
Right.
So if they ain't producing, I'm getting fired.
Right.
And if they find out or anything, I'm not putting in time with my guys. Like I'm gonna be gone. If I'm not gone, they're not bringing me back next semester.
Right.
And reality, like this is my resume. So like this is my reference of my people, my peers. So like, and when I like even like a day-to-day basis, like I could already be done with my day. And coach already at home. I said, hey coach, you need anything? You good? You know what I mean? He like, well, you know what? I could use little things.
Yeah.
And but even though sometimes you don't want to do it, you just had this long day teaching, coaching. But hey, this your, you know what I mean? This your reference.
Right.
You know what I mean? How you want to go out.
Right.
You know, because some places you probably gonna have some better options of where you want to go. But them head coaches don't forget nothing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
go the extra mile. That's what you
gotta go the extra mile.
Go the extra mile.
And be consistent.
Be consistent.
You know what I mean? You can have a good 6 days out of the week, but that one day could cost you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Cost you your job. Like I have friends like coaching right now from D1s, and you'll be surprised. Like my friend, shout out to Newman, Donovan Newman. He coaches at Millsaps. He been holding it down over there. He said he was at Houston Christian, right? He was at Houston Christian, coaching over there, and one of their guys' only had one job, and he wasn't a position coach. He wasn't a quality control. He wasn't a DC, OC head coach. He had one job, is to make sure that coffee was on that table when that meeting started.
Right.
And one morning, screwed it over.
Yeah.
Coach came, head coach always last one to come to meeting. Came in there, sat down, looking around the table like, my coffee at? The coach just looking like, the assistant coach. He looking around like, I messed up. And ended up firing him.
Damn.
But regardless, like, no matter where he want to go, they got to ask that coach who he was last with.
Right.
What did he like?
Yeah.
Or you can say, you know what, he don't listen because he blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That's all they need to hear. They don't care about what you did. You brought in 300 guys. They don't care about none of that. That one thing costs everything.
Right.
And so that's why, like, that's what come in and day out. And make sure, like, represent your name the right way, brand your name the right way, and lead by example, and put in your work. And everything else gonna come to light.
Yes, sir, man. We got the leader of the YNs right here, the positive right here, man. Mr. Audreece Dixon. And we appreciate you coming on the show, my G.
Appreciate you, man.
The PY.
Got any last little statements?
Nah, bro. Oh, so I have some stuff that I have going on. I haven't told y'all about it, but I will be going to some 7-on-7 games.
Okay.
And getting some footage of some kids. So I'm not gonna tell nobody when I'm there. I'm gonna just pop out and show that N-words.
Spread some Brock brand out there.
Yep.
Boy, no.
I am.
No, we did it. Guys. We forgot you a shirt, man.
No, listen, don't worry about it. We got you, bro. We'll take care.
We got you, family. We got you.
We'll take care of you and your pops.
Yeah, man. But those that been rocking with us from the beginning, man, y'all know the motto. Don't get ready, stay ready.
Yes, sir.
Peace.